Well, when we look at the whole state and the budget and we look at what is really being targeted here, the state is trying to save money, no doubt. $13–14 million, but the services that the regional offices provide well exceed what could be efficiently done in the state with the regional offices remaining open. But the key to all of this is we have 90 administrators. We have 88. We have 44 regional superintendents, which are elected by their local folks, which is a voter's decision and a challenge to the democracy of this state when others want to come in and eliminate a vote from the local folks. But we also have assistants that go along with that. Every regional superintendent has the option for an assistant, and that's 88 people. Well, 88 people will find other jobs, but the question is, will all the services that the regional offices provide for some, in many cases, the most vulnerable students in our schools, like the homeless students, safe school students that need that extra chance, the alternative students that need to get caught up. So the question is, are those services going to remain in place? Because if we don't serve those most vulnerable students, where do they end up in 5 years if they don't finish their high school diploma?
So do you think Quinn is targeting the ROEs strictly to eliminate the salaries and all of the extra? Why do you see this happening?
I don't think that Governor Quinn understands the magnitude of what regional offices and their services do for districts and local communities. I think he sees that there are 88 people with these administrative salaries, and he says that's a good way to cut, let's slice and dice it. But what he's not thinking about is all the services and the management that goes along with all the programs that the regional office provides, including compliance. Now, another question that someone had mentioned earlier had to do with the schools and those schools paying for the superintendents, regional superintendents and their assistants and their staff to remain in place. But if you're a compliance entity and you're going into schools and you're doing compliance checks with a 56-page probe of items you're confirming is safe or unsafe and that these districts are doing or not doing, is it wise for that employer to be the one you're going in and inspecting? It's a state-level position, and they're elected by the people in their local communities. So it's a state regulation that these compliance visits be conducted. And that's a big part of what we do, the safety, the academic, the professional development, the alternative schools, the safe schools, anything like that that helps children progress and schools improve every year. So I'm not sure that the governor understands all that takes place during these compliance visits and all the services that are being provided and who will do it thereafter.
And sorry, this may be a kind of a tricky question, but
that's okay.
So how much do you exactly make? I mean, what are we talking about here? What's the ballpark?
What we make as a regional superintendent, it depends on what level you fall on by population, but the average regional superintendent makes around $97,000. And the assistant makes around $86,000–87,000. And then we pay part of our retirement, and the state of Illinois pays part of it. We're under the state of Illinois as an employer. So for that's 2 administrators, and we cover a 60,000 population of people, 60,000, and we serve from GED testing to GED offering classes to safe school to compliance. I mean, the list goes on and on. So it's a position that really in many cases we make less than some of the district superintendents. But we're elected. We chose to go that route in our career because we have a commitment to schools and to children. And that's the target here. What's good for the children here?
So how much do you make?
Around $97,000. Yeah.
And is there anything else you want to add?
Well, I think, I don't know if the state and the governor understand fully, but so much of what we get in our office is federally funded. So we stand to lose opportunities for federal funds. So much. for instance, we received a federal fund of a school improvement grant of a $1.2 million grant just this last year. On top of that, we run a GED adult ed program, which we receive about $500,000 for. So in just my office alone, we probably bring in well over maybe $2.5 million of federal funds. So, and we're the only entity that qualifies for those funds. So where do those funds go? They're not going to come into our great state of Illinois because they're federal funds, and ROEs are the only ones that qualify to write for them. Where's that money go? So we're going to lose federal funds because of an entity being eliminated at the level in which we serve.